Update in the trial is it's going so badly that even the political propagandist hacks at the MSNBC are sitting there pontificating. Where's the crime here? Kelly, can we play that one video quick before I get into a joke that I'm questioning whether or not I regret?
Go.
This is MSNBC.
They're
Listen.
arguing that this is a falsification of documents and they want to bump it up to a felony. What's the underlying crime here? What is that rule?
I'm assuming it's New York election law conspiracy to promote an election by unlawful means.
Listen to this.
How come we don't know that at this point?
Well, Josh Steinglass said that earlier.
How do we not
in front
know
of the
that?
jury? This was like a week ago. So I don't know why it wasn't said in opening statements. You typically, in an opening statement, you tell them what the charges are and what you intend to prove.
Unless you don't know yet.
At the end, surprise, this is it. But I think that's going to be it. The New York election.
I think that's what the crime's going to be. We could stop it there.
Yeah, and how much, David? How much of this? Because I know you have a lot to say. How much of this is just for the Democrats to have? Because I know even if he gets convicted of felony, he's not going to jail.
Oh, he could. I mean, in theory, it's 180 years maximum that he's facing.
Yeah. Well, I think it'll blow up.
34 felony counts. It's serious stuff in here.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. How much of this is the left's way of just having? Because the people that are voting, that 48% that are still going for Biden. These are talking points for them to say, just like when this debate, if it happens, and Rob's going to get into that at the end, these are talking points for the left, American public, and even some of those independents that are in the middle. They're going to be like, well, he was convicted. Yeah, he's a freaking felon.
They want this conviction so that if and when that debate that Joe Biden apparently offered ever takes place, he can say, you want a convicted felon as president?
Yeah.
This is election lawfare, from the RICO case in Georgia to the E. Jean Carroll case out of New York, where they literally changed the law to expand the statute of limitations so they could sue, to the Engeron overvaluation of the assets fraud case alleged. This is all election interference. And what's amazing is we're watching this trial now. There are two star witnesses. One is a confirmed liar porn star, Stormy Daniels, and the other is a convicted perjurer, confirmed liar throughout the years, tax fraud, Michael Cohen, his personal attorney.
Yeah.
And so I made the joke on the interwebs yesterday. It's very interesting. The two star witnesses are a scumbag and a cumbag, and I'm not sure if I feel bad about that joke.
Talking about Michael Cohen that way.
Well, now that's what the joke on the internet is. But the bottom line, you have a porn star who is changing her story for anybody who's listened to the testimony. You can't really listen to it. You got to follow the tweets. X scripts. A guy named Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, is live tweeting this trial because they're not live streaming it. There's no TVs there, so live tweeting. Stormy Daniels, her story has changed over the years to, I never did it. It never happened. I affirmed it on 5 separate occasions, to, I don't know. Did I sign that document? Can we play this one, Kelly, when she's on that awful man? What's his name? Was that late night show?
Oh, got it.
Statement. The signature on the original statement does not match the signature on this statement. And I went through my library of photographs of you to compare it to headshots that you have signed. And these seem to match the original statement.
Crowds clapping like,
and am I getting at anything? Did you sign this letter that was released today?
I don't know. Did I?
Wait a minute.
All right, we can cut it there. This was 6 years ago.
It doesn't look like your signature.
So we could cut it here.
No, you can cut it.
It's nothing useful after there. So you got this too coy for school porn star. Not that the porn star has anything to do with anything, but at one point in time affirming, I never had a relationship with Trump. We didn't have sex. Then she gets on the stand, and they bring her on the stand. Bear in mind, she has zero evidentiary value in this case. If this case is about mislabeling an alleged hush money payment, it doesn't matter if he had sex with her, if he didn't have sex with her, irrelevant. The only question is, the payment was made, was it mislabeled? They bring her on the stand. She gets out there saying how she had sex with him without a condom because she's allergic to latex. As if we're going to believe that Donald Trump, a germaphobe, is going to have unprotected sex with a woman who's in the industry without being able to have protected sex because she's allergic to condoms. Yeah. They bring her out solely to humiliate Trump in front of this jury.
I agree.
She lied over and over again, said she didn't have the story, she didn't have sex, then admits that she says she did, sells the story, sells her silence, sells her story. Okay, that was Stormy Daniels. Michael Cohen, Trump's personal attorney, has been on the stand for 2 days now. And it's pathological. The guy comes out and says, I mislabeled the payment. It wasn't legal services because I wasn't rendering legal services to Trump at the time. It was a payment to quiet this woman, to interfere with the election. That's allegedly the underlying, federal offense. And but then the crux of it was Michael Cohen, Trump's personal attorney, comes out and testifies that he surreptitiously recorded a conversation with Trump as relates allegedly to the Karen McDougal payment, surreptitiously recorded it. When asked why, He said it was because I wanted to show David Pecker, this guy who owned AMI, the National Enquirer, that he was going to get paid or reimbursed for monies that he put out for. So he's, as a lawyer, recording a conversation with his own client, violating solicitor-client privilege to show it to a third party.
Is that disbarable?
I mean, it isn't. He's been disbarred. I suspect it is. I don't know what the rules are in New York, but it doesn't violate New York state law because that's a one-party consent state, not an all-party consent state. But the bottom line, it's going so badly, even the hacks at MSNBC are like, why haven't they told us what the underlying crime is?
Yeah.
One of them, I didn't bring the clip up, but it's the woman saying, well, his examination in chief went very well, but it fell apart on cross-examination. And I'm like, no shiat, Sherlock. That's kind of what happens when the prosecutor preps you. You know the questions, you know the answers, and then you don't have a friendly attorney cross-examining you. So the case is rubbish through and through. The only question is whether or not there was a felonious concealment or improper labeling of the retainer payment made to Michael Cohen. But he's confirmed it was a retainer. He's confirmed he was the lawyer at the time, but now he's trying to say, I didn't do any legal services. It's garbage. The only question is, is this jury a purely politically prejudiced jury that's going to convict because they want to convict, or are there going to be a couple of conscientious jurors out there who are going to say, this is bullshit? The problem is also acquittal or conviction. It's a win-win for the Dems and for the war machine, because instead of campaigning now, he's stuck in court for 6 months, 6 weeks, spending however many millions of dollars on this instead of on the campaign. Yeah. So it's behooving, whatever. It behooves all of us to put this on blast and have this be more popular.
But is that working?
And Trump's gag orders.
So I think this is better publicity for his election campaign than going and campaigning.
I agree. So their ultimate goal of trying to keep him off the campaign, unless they jail him, their ultimate goal, or one of the goals, was to try and prevent him from going out and campaigning and being on the trail. But it's making him more popular among Americans who are watching this, like, what did you call it? Rubbish? This rubbish trial. And when it comes to Stormy Daniels, think about it. I like cheeseburgers, right? I've had a lot of cheeseburgers.
Yeah, we know.
Right? Thank you. Didn't get the fat joke, but I appreciate that. I've had a lot of cheeseburgers over my life.
Okay, now
that's a lot of meat.
Yeah.
I'm wondering. I can't remember the biggest cheeseburger I ever had, but I know that I've had some good cheeseburgers. This woman is a porn star. She has slept with, I would assume,
she testified maybe hundreds of films
of cheeseburgers.
So without a condom because she's allergic to latex.
Hundreds of men, and she remembers this one incident with Donald Trump 25 years ago. It stands out in her mind.
much. No. You're thinking of E. Jean Carroll. This one was more recent. This was at a golf tournament a little while ago.
Well, 2004. Okay, so 20 years ago.
Yeah, Stormy's been a while. This was before
because the radio show. Very interesting. Remember, I don't know if you saw this. It came up that did she ever admit on a radio show about sleeping with Donald Trump? Did you see that?
Well, no, and then she had a good reason why she didn't say that she had sex with him in a book or in another interview. And also, sorry, just to add something there. During her testimony, she says, I felt drugged. She literally said this in court. There was an objection, but by the time it's out there, then she says, I felt pressured. I felt coerced. I think I blacked out. So it's gone from denial of anything to admission, but it was consensual, to now I'm a victim of sexual assault.
So I worked for Bubba the Love Sponge, a radio guy in Tampa, Florida. You may know him for surreptitiously filming Hulk Hogan having sex with his wife. Brought down Gawker. It was a huge story. Don't laugh. Okay.
Yes, serious business.
I'm sorry. I don't have all the credibility that Shane has working in the swamp of D.C.
I like Bubba the Love Sponge. Okay. From what you've told me, I just find it funny.
I worked with Bubba in 2016 to 2018. And during that time, there was this speculation that a tape existed of Stormy Daniels admitting on his radio show that she had sex with Donald Trump. We found the tape. The tape was actually purchased by someone. To this day, I don't know who purchased the tape, but they wanted Bubba to scrub the tape from the internet. On the tape, Stormy Daniels asked, have you ever had sex with a famous rich guy that we would all know? She said yes. And they asked her to write down the name of the person. On the piece of paper, she wrote down Donald Trump and showed everybody, but didn't show the camera. She then they asked, how was he? And she said in that interview, he was fantastic. He was a great lover. Now you look at what's going on. Now you look at what's going on now. He didn't use a condom, and according to her, it was a quick, brief encounter.
Yeah, time is money.
She goes, just in that interview alone, from the interview that they have scrubbed from the internet that was purchased by somebody, in my opinion, and I was working there at the time, I don't know who contacted Bubba to purchase that tape, but my guess would be somebody who is receiving $130,000 to keep quiet about that tape never existing. She says he was great and well endowed, and then all of a sudden now he's quick and has a small wiener.
Well, I don't even believe that he had a sex with Stormy Daniels, and it's not like it sounds like gross almost to like compare. Well, Karen McDougal, Playmate of the Year, is, if you're looking at the things with that type of metrics, it's a different type of cheeseburger, to use the analogy, than a porn star who's done hundreds of films with unprotected sex with all sorts of people. So like, if from a rich tycoon's perspective, I'm thinking of the movie with Julia Roberts and Richard
Pretty Woman.
Gere. Pretty Woman. So like, as far as plausibility goes, I don't think it happened. Karen McDougal, I'm not so sure. I have no insider knowledge whatsoever. So I don't think it happened in the first place. I'm curious about that story, because whether or not she's just boasting to some guys and saying like, oh, I did this and now I'm going to show a name that's going to get everyone's jaw dropping. I mean, I could see that happen.
Shane, say what you're going to say, because I want Rob to go into the thing at the end. Go ahead.
I wanted to connect it to the video. I was just going to say, to Viva's point, that even though the whole case is BS, they're still going to use it to their advantage, even if they lose it, because they're going to get him stuck in court. And you have Biden this morning laughing at Trump. He says in this clip, which we'll play in a second, that Trump will be busy on Wednesdays or he won't be busy on Wednesdays because that's the day they have off in court. So
weird.
Biden's just laughing at the fact that they have this lawfare against him.
Yeah, Rob. So Rob, please explain to us what we're going to see, because we just got news about.
So the tweet came out this morning at 10:14 a.m., May 15th. Joe Biden: I've received and accepted an invitation from @CNN for a debate on June 27th. Over to you, Donald. As you said, anywhere, anytime, any place. And then, in my opinion, this senile old man went and made this angry.
When is this? This is just
look at that face right now. We don't see it yet.
Oh, let's see. Put the volume up.
I'm an angry old man. It looks like Dana Carvey pretending to be an old man.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's hear it.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
And by the way, he's acting tough. He just canceled on the 3 debates that are to be held by the commission. The commission is the same organization that has held the presidential debates for 30 years. And Biden is refusing to do it. And his stated reasons are, 1, they didn't test Donald and his coterie for COVID back in 2020. And then second reason is because he wants it to happen before early voting. So early voting, mail-in balloting.
Cheating.
Yeah, cheating. So Biden instead wants to do it in June, like 6 months before the election, so we can all forget about it.
I wouldn't
forget about how bad he
agree
does.
to that.
Well,
And then he's going to do it in early September, is what Biden wants. And Trump, I think, accepted the June date.
Challenge issued and challenge accepted. This is from Donald Trump's Truth Social account. Crooked Joe Biden is the worst debater I have ever faced. He can't put 2 sentences together. Crooked is also the worst president in the history of the United States by far.
Agreed.
It's time for a debate so that he can explain to the American people his highly destructive open border policy, new and ridiculous EV mandates, the allowance of crushing inflation, high taxes, and his weak foreign policy, which is allowing the world to, and I quote, catch on fire. I am ready and willing to debate Crooked Joe at the 2 proposed times in June and September. I would strongly recommend more than 2 debates and, for excitement purposes, a large venue. Although Biden is supposedly afraid of crowds. That's only because he doesn't get them. Just tell me when and I'll be there. And I quote, Let's get ready to rumble.
That's a shout out to Rumble right there. Trump adjusted.
He just and then guys, and as we're sitting here, Kelly, this might be an older video. Did you guys see? And again, we're talking about all the tactics that they're using, right, Dave? Guys, the lawfare, the impeachments, the Russian collusion, the conspiracies, the deep state. Jen Psaki, did you guys see the video? Former White House press secretary Jen Psaki, the ginger swindler, fantasized about Trump dying before the 2024 election on Tuesday morning appearance on MSNBC's Morning Joe. I'm going to have Kelly play this. This is last week, but
this is recent.
I'm shocked. Why would you even say this shit?
Because it's a freaking dog whistle. They know what they're doing. Let's hear this.
I think many of them want to be close to power. They also assume or have this thought in their mind that maybe Donald Trump will go away. Maybe he'll go to jail. Maybe he will die, not to be too morbid, but maybe, he's not a young man. I think many of them want to be close to power.
What? Wait. What are you even talking about, Jennifer? What are you nuts?
Biden's not old. I mean, he's 81 and Trump is 77.
This is what people call persuasion, or what was the word that they pre-programming? Like with the movies,
predictive programming.
Predictive programming. I don't even want to say these things out loud because we know what weapons the intelligence has had for a long time to cause bodily functions to cease function, like a heart attack. We know these things. This pre-predictive programming to get people used to the idea of something happening, and then when it happens, well, he was an old man. Look, Jen Psaki said it. It's terrible. They're putting awful juju out in the universe, and they should be ashamed of themselves. But that is worse than that. That is a dog whistle to their lunatics on the left, so that someone can go find a baseball game, a congressional Republican baseball game, and do God knows what. And they say, well, we didn't do anything.
And you nailed it. And this is from November. Kelly just sent me this. November 2023, Business Insider put this article up. Kelly, can you show that? Here's what happens if Donald Trump dies while running in the 2024 presidential election.
Like, I'm sorry, when is he, like, since when is he going to die? Like, what?
Yeah, well, dude, let me explain something to you guys. If there's a will, what's that say? Former President Donald Trump is far away from the Republican frontrunner heading into 2024 election. He's 77 years old and will be 78 in June.
Okay.
Joe Biden's 95. I'm joking.
and demented.
If he dies while seeking re-election, a few different things could happen depending on when he dies and how close it is to election. What the hell are these people writing?
This is the embodiment of David Mamet's "Every fear hides a wish." I mean, this is like, oh, what would happen? Oh, please, terrible,
please.
awful people.
It's disgusting, and I mean, one of the only, I heard this on Andrew Schultz's podcast, and did we talk about this on this one, Robbie? Where Andrew Schultz said a friend of his hit him up, and he said, because guys, let's look for the weak points, okay? Secret Service, you can trust them pretty much. He has his own private security. He's secure. The people love him. There are crazies out there. There's lone wolves. I think it would all be it'd be really, really set up. But the only time he's extremely vulnerable is when he's in the air, when he's flying. He's not a president. He doesn't have F-16 support or anything. And somebody mentioned what plane company does Donald Trump fly on? Boeing.
Oh, God.
So if, God forbid, something happens and they're like, whoops, the plane. Guys, that Civil War shit, it's going to happen instantly.
Yeah, people
it's
out.
wild. I just highlight something that people should pay attention to, that this is election lawfare, election warfare, all being waged by political operatives. Every player in this, now that we're seeing this, is a political operative. Judge Engoron is a political operative. Leticia James, Fannie Willis, Nathan Wade, Judge Marchand, whose daughter is representing Adam Schiff and Pax, who's the prosecutor, Alvin Bragg. Political operatives waging election war in real time. And Jack Smith, and the recent news now coming out of which document was it?
They were in Mar-a-Lago, where he wasn't Mar-a-Lago.
Which one is it now? The classified documents case. And now we're learning. And I double checked with Julie Kelly.
Shoot?
May I read this? We won't be able to bring it up.
This is Jack Smith.
We're discovering now that the documents, that infamous FBI photo of the trove of classified documents.
God.
13 boxes. This is quoting from Julie Kelly's, and I think it's a declassified.live. It's her Substack. You can find Julie Kelly on Twitter. She's amazing. Boxes contain documents with classification markings, and in all, over 100 unique documents with classification markings were seized. Certain of the documents had color cover sheets indicating their classification status. The DOJ's clever... Oh, and it says, sorry, did I miss it here? The DOJ's clever wordsmithing, however, did not accurately describe the origin of the cover sheets. It in what must be considered not only an act of doctoring evidence, but willfully misleading the American people into believing the former president is a criminal and threat to national security. Agents involved in the raid attached the cover sheets to at least 7 files to stage that photo.
So you mean to tell me, so if I'm hearing you correctly, the FBI, along with Jack Smith, the prosecutor, planted cover sheets to make something look evidence that it wasn't real.
Well, to make it look classified, and then to indicate that it was classified. And their defense will be, well, it was classified. We were just making it clear. They didn't indicate that to the court, from what I understand.
I have to pee. I'm so sorry, guys.
That's illegal. Wait, that's illegal. Wait, isn't that illegal? You can't plant evidence and shit to... What are we talking
plainly
about?
illegal.
Look, I don't know what's legal and what's not, because what's illegal to some is just good politics to others.
Oh my God.
That is falsifying evidence, misleading the public, and it's election lawfare warfare in every state. And Judge Eileen Cannon out of Florida looks like she might be sticking a boot in it. and I just sound like a Canadian there.
And
the poop is hitting the fan in Georgia. Fani Willis's disqualification has now been agreed to be heard by the Georgia Court of Appeals. So Scott McAfee, who didn't disqualify Fani, that decision was brought up on appeal, and the Georgia Court of Appeals is going to hear it. So it's all falling apart, but it's achieved its lawfare election interference objectives in the interim.
And just one more reason to prove that the FBI is completely biased. They completely work. And again, you always have to have the pre of there are some good ones in there.
Yeah.
Well, then why aren't there more patriots talking shit?
Yeah.
Where are the FBI agents? One of them came up to me after the live event that we had. He's like, "Hey, man, we're not all bad." Well, I'm like, then guess what? Start opening your freaking mouth. And what those FBI agents that purposely set that thing up to make it look like it's a classified documents. You should be You should be fired and you should be put in jail.
I said at the time it was like a Minority Report orgy of evidence. I don't remember exactly how I worded it. I'm going to go back and see if I look smarter in retrospect. It was a ridiculous photo up in the first place.
What the hell are we talking?
It goes back to the deep state thing, though. You know, like people say, like, "Oh yeah, here's the deep state that I'm talking about." Like it's just bureaucrats, but it's like an iceberg, like a literal iceberg. Like the people who call the shots are the deep state. You have no idea who those people are.
Yeah, like in Rob's story, the deep state is packed with patriots. It's totally on our side. Or it's neutral. It's just they just serve the presidency, not the president. But we also help the president when he's a Democrat.
The CIA, the FBI, the deep state, they are effectively the secret service for a political party. Nothing less, and maybe even something worse.
It gets me sick to my stomach, and I just wish the more of the good ones that everybody talks about, like that FBI agent that came up to me, open your mouth. Point them out, expose them.
They have no idea. I don't think they know who they are, though. Even the FBI agents, I don't think they have any idea who was actually calling the shots within the swamp.
But like in
the
this
depths
case,
of the swamp of the government.
in this case, the guys with Jack Smith that put the cover letters, the cover sheets on these documents, you should. By the way, Jack Smith. Disbarred, what are you doing?
Kevin Kleinfeld, the lawyer for the FBI who falsified documents. You know what happened to him? I think he got a 1-year suspended sentence.
And that's it.
Nothing.
I think it's clear from all of this that these people got to where they are, certainly not from their own merits, because they're completely incompetent across the board. You look at the New York cases, you look at the Georgia case, you look at the D.C. cases, everyone sucks at their job. They don't even understand the law. And they've only gotten so far up the system because they help the system. Their
merit is who sells out the best. Like who's willing to sell out the most and not ask questions and do what they're told. That's who rises up the ranks in the deep state.
Exactly.
I just did a podcast with Norm Pattis. He represented Alex Jones, and you know what he confirmed in the interview is like, even the government doesn't know how many informants, how many CHSs, confidential human sources there are. It's a proverbial blob, and it's good that there's good people in it. Nobody's denying that. But the entity and the institution itself is corrupt beyond redemption.
And stupid.
I think it's quite insidiously smart.
Well, it's staffed now with so many backstabbing cretins that they like I said, they didn't get there through merit. It's like the Soviet Union where they put incompetent people in control of things like Chernobyl, and that's why they went south. But they were loyal to the party, and that's why they got promoted. So they are clever, but they're stupid at the same time somehow. They're incompetent, but they are...
Well, the top people build the big thing to be stupid. Mm-hmm. You know, like the people who look like they're in managerial positions are stupid. They're just loyalists. But the people who are deeply at the lowest depths of it, I think those people are smart.
Yeah, but like Vinny said, they should stand up and
say something. And we got to weed these.
I imagine that 90% of the deep state doesn't know who's calling the shots in the deep state.
Well, and then I was going to say, secret recordings, and then go to whistleblowers and go to James O'Keefe's of the world. But then you do that, and you end up in jail. You end up exiled like Snowden. You end up in jail like Assange.
They'll raid your house.
The machine doesn't even let you rat on the criminality of the machine. Right. That's how big and powerful the machine is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it drives me crazy, bro. No wonder why they call
all the judges, all the media,
they're all connected. They're all.
They could destroy your life in 2 seconds if you start calling shit about
33 ways from Sunday, the intelligence agency.
Was it
like an invisible horn.
7 ways from Sunday.
And he just
when you go after the FBI, it's a very
Chuck
stupid
Schumer
thing
is such
to do.
a freaking weasel worm.
On your nose.
Like Chuck Schumer is just a worm.
A dangerous man. He's a dangerous man, and he's a dangerous man with power.
Nancy Pelosi too.